Okay, so yes, we are going to discuss how we were able to travel to Hawaii for only $313.50. That's been one of the popular posts on our blog, which we'll talk about that later. But
All right, so I guess we'll start with why Hawaii, because some people want to go, some people don't. Some people think it's too expensive. We found that there were ways where we could cut the cost on plane tickets. So why did you want to go to Hawaii? Because it was actually Trent's idea to go to Hawaii.
Was it?
Yes, it was.
I agreed. I wanted to go. Why Hawaii? I don't know who doesn't want to go to. I'd always wanted to go. Never had been before. I didn't have any particular activities I wanted to do. I just wanted to see the landscape, and I wanted to see a dolphin.
Well, all right.
What about you? Why did you want to go to Hawaii?
Hawaii wasn't actually my idea. I don't know why he gave that funny look.
It was. You
No, we were trying to decide on where we were going to go for our honeymoon. He came up with Hawaii before I really could decide on a place. But so it was Hawaii. So then after we decided on Hawaii, then it was, a race to figure out how we could get there as cheaply as possible. There are a lot of smaller uninhabited Hawaiian islands, but there are 8 primary islands. But we did 4 of the 8 islands. And one of those islands, a lot of people are familiar with Honolulu. So Honolulu sits on the island of Oahu. So
that's the capital, right?
Yes, it's the capital. So that was one of the 4 islands we traveled to. So, and also trying to get to Hawaii cheaply, we also wanted to see as many of the 8 Hawaiian islands as we could. We wanted more of a, or maybe I did and Trent tagged along, but I wanted more of a backpacking adventure. So
leading up to when we went, we weren't sure whether we wanted to go to a more private, intimate honeymoon place or whether we wanted to go to somewhere with a lot of events. We'll tell you all how we decided on that.
Let's get into actually getting the tickets for $313. So there were really 5 things that we did. The first one is we traveled during what's known as the low season. So number 1, the low season. Travel during the low season. So their low season is April to May or September to October. That's when flights to Hawaii are the cheapest year round, and our wedding was in September. So we were able to take advantage of flying during that time. We were in Hawaii for 9 days. So I think it was September 4th through the 16th. So you're looking at early to mid-September is when we flew. And just to give you a comparison, when we looked for tickets, the tickets 2 months prior, so in July, they were actually $200 more expensive per person than the tickets in September. So that's just a quick example. And as a starting point, as a reference, when we first started looking for tickets to Hawaii, this was in February. So remember, our wedding was in September. So in February, we started looking for tickets. Late January, early February, they were $960 at the time. So we'll kind of work down, how we got to the $313, but they were $960, and that was in about early February.
So I was planning on having to pay, at least, more than $1,500 for tickets. So that was my thought when we started kind of totaling up how much it would cost mentally. So you can continue.
All right. So the second thing we did was we actually flew out of Washington Place. We actually flew out of a neighboring airport. So we live in Louisville, Kentucky. But tickets, I told you tickets were $960. That was for flying from Louisville to Hawaii. But 2 major airports nearest to us are out of Nashville and out of Cincinnati. And both of those airports were cheaper. And actually, Cincinnati was cheaper than the flights out of Nashville. And it also worked out for us because Cincinnati is closer to us than Nashville is. Cincinnati's about an hour and a half from here. So not only was Cincinnati closer, but the flights were cheaper out of the 3 locations, Louisville, Nashville, and Cincinnati. So we knew we were going to book our tickets and fly out of Cincinnati.
Yeah, so I spent most of my time listening about all of this, and she did a lot of the searching. So first, let me say that I'm lucky because she was the one paying attention to these different variables, whereas I was just looking at the cost and trying to estimate, okay, this is how much it's going to cost. So she did a lot of the searching. So we booked close to the departure date, and that's unusual. You would think that if you book months in advance, that it's going to be a lot cheaper. But in addition to what we talked about so far, we actually booked it 7 weeks, 7 weeks out. So that had a little bit to do with why we didn't necessarily plan a bunch of activities, go through a travel agent. We called a few travel agents, but when everything started to piece together, that's how we found out how to make this work. So we booked like 7 weeks out, which you don't think that would be cheaper, but it actually was.
All right.
Listen, when it comes to
we gotta hurry up because Trent's battery's
my battery's
die
over there.
soon.
So we're gonna get to it.
All right. Number 4. So if you're just tuning in, this is about how we flew to Hawaii for $313.50 each. We're on step 4 out of step 5. The 5 things that helped us to do that. Number 4 is we actually did not book our tickets on a Tuesday or a Wednesday. So it's common belief that, flight tickets are cheapest on Tuesday or Wednesday. There might be some science to that. A lot of times when I fly, I do try to book on a Tuesday or Wednesday. But again, because we were really racing, we were losing time, and and I was on the sites daily looking at how the prices were fluctuating. So I was able to see day to day how the prices were changing. We actually booked our flights on a Friday. And when we booked them, the Friday that we booked, like Trent said, it was 7 weeks before we departed. The prices on that Friday were the cheapest I had seen 7 months prior to us booking and 2 weeks after we booked. So the prices that I saw on that Friday were cheaper than any of the prices I had seen on Tuesdays or Wednesdays.
So I guess the key is to be on the lookout 7 days a week, instead of just assuming that the flights will be cheapest on a Tuesday or Thursday.
Tuesday or Wednesday.
So yeah, again, shout out to the wife-to-be, because she was checking it a lot. Hey, Tasha.
Specific airline. Yes. Do we want to say what the airline was?
What airline did we fly?
American Airlines.
That's right. We flew American Airlines out of Cincinnati. Yeah. So that's what number 4. So number 5 is the big one, the big thing that saved us a lot.
And that was a rewards credit card. So if you know Trent and I, as we've said, thanks Twan, or people who know us, we're not proponents of debt at all. However, we were paying for a wedding. We had wedding expenses coming up. And we knew we wanted to fly to Hawaii. So we looked at options that would help us to do that in a financially efficient manner, if that makes sense. So we used the rewards credit card to pay for wedding expenses that we were already going to have to pay for, and just pay it off at the end of the month. And because we got the rewards credit card, the credit card that we actually ended up signing with gave us 40,000 points, introductory points, just for signing up. Like if you met a certain criteria in purchases within the first 3 months. Again, we knew we were going to meet that because we were paying for catering and venue, everything for a wedding. So we knew we were going to get those 40,000 points. And then we also got, I think it was $2 points on every $1 spent. So again, because we were already going to pay for these wedding expenses, we said, why not use a rewards credit card, you leverage the points, and help us get to Hawaii at the same time. It was like killing 2 birds with 1 stone. Although I don't like killing birds, but it was like that.
Yeah, so we did some research on what was the best credit card to get. I study marketing, so I don't like giving free publicity. I'm not gonna say the credit card, but if y'all,
you said the airline company.
I said the airline, yeah. So, if you want to know, I'll talk to you later and tell you. But that's just one of my pet peeves. I don't get free pub. But anyway, with this credit card, what happened was I sort of understood the rewards and the kind of the structure of it. Again, my wife was on it, and this was the huge thing because I was sitting at work one day. I was in my office, and I'm assuming our tickets again. I thought they would be at least $1,500. We saw them for like $1,900 total. So I'm assuming that we're going to end up paying quite a bit. She calls me one day while I'm sitting at the office and says the price of the tickets, which was $313.50 round trip after factoring in the rewards. And then she called the credit card company, stayed on the phone with them for a long time, just talking about how we can use the points or the miles or whatever it was.
I thought he forgot about all of this. This is amazing to hear you say this.
You think I forgot?
Yeah.
And so imagine when I got that call, she said $313.50. I'm like, what is that, like the flight to Dallas? Is that like is that one of the 4 flights? No, that was round trip. I probably did a cartwheel in my office when she said that. Those are the 5 ways that we got those tickets for $313.50. We'll share some other ways that we saved quite a bit even throughout the honeymoon.
Quick overview, quick recap rather, what I said and how we got down to $313.50. We raked up so many points from wedding expenses. So the points from the credit card paid for 1 full ticket, but remember the other things factored in, such as we booked on a Friday instead of a Tuesday or Wednesday. We booked 7 weeks out instead of 6 months out, that some people think you need to book 6 months out. We flew out of Cincinnati instead of flying out of Louisville. So all those things factored into it.
And we went to Hawaii during the down season.
And then we went to Hawaii during the low season. So when you factor all those...
The weather was perfect.
Yeah, so when you factor all those in, we basically got all those things plus the points paid for 1 ticket of $633, which means the second ticket, obviously because there are 2 of us going, was $633. So really, both of us went for $633, or if you were divided by 2, it's like we're each paying $313.50.
So you can see, like, it makes sense to factor in as many things as possible, to save as many ways as you can, and to use the system the way it's designed to be used. Can I tell the funny stories now?
Yeah.
So if you want to know everything we went over, if you want to read through this, jot it down, whatever, it's on our blog, playandgrowinlove.com. One reason I wanted to go to Hawaii is because I wanted to see a dolphin in the wild. But before that, we flew from Cincinnati to Dallas, and then Dallas to Hawaii was 8 hours, right?
Oh, yeah.
So the 8-hour flight to Hawaii, of course, I was not looking forward to it. I'm not that tall. I mean, I'm 6'1", and sitting on a plane for 8 hours, not that fun. We were on American Airlines that had the 3 seats in the middle, and the actual third person wasn't there, so that was good. But what happened was it is playandgrowinlove.com. My wife here is, can I tell them your height? She's 4'11". So with that third,
I'm 5 feet.
with that third seat not occupied, she basically like had a bed. Like she laid on my lap and had a bed because she's so short. But I had to
the whole flight.
I had to sit there upright for 8 hours. I watched movies and tried to occupy myself. So that's one funny story. The other one was the whole time we were going, and this was good too. People were telling us how expensive food is in Hawaii, but it turned out to be pretty good. Well, we ate what the locals told us to eat.
Yeah, we'll have another video and another post that's coming soon. How we actually traveled, everything included, for under $2,000 per person. That's flight, that's food, and this is for 9 days and visiting 4 of the 8 Hawaiian islands. So we're gonna have a post on how to do that.
And we had a ball. We did a lot of different.
This is a long story.
It is a long story. So anyway, playandgrowinlove.com. Go there. You can read. We have an article specifically about how we got these tickets, and there's some other things too related to the Hawaii trip.